Welcome back. U.S. Marine veteran Robert Gilman is returning home after President Trump secured his release without a prisoner swap from Russia after more than 4 years in custody and amid serious concerns about his health. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff posting these images you see here on X earlier this morning saying, quote, a special night welcoming an American citizen home to his family and country. Thank you, President Trump, for never leaving anyone behind. The number of Americans wrongfully detained overseas has jumped 163% in recent years, but in 2025, more Americans came home from captivity than any other year in the past 2 decades. With that, let's bring in retired Navy SEAL commander and former hostage negotiator Dan O'Shea. Dan, thank you for joining us. What really stands out here is that it didn't require a prisoner swap. What can you tell us?
Well, what really is, it's behind the scenes. Obviously, the conditions this individual, this former Marine runner, were atrocious. He had been in a comatose state for upwards of 50-odd days. He wasn't taking food, and it was a very dire situation. So he was either coming home to America or he was going to die in a Russian jail.
So you obviously have experience in this. You were in Iraq doing this very thing, the hostage negotiations. Walk us through, obviously the humanitarian part was an issue, but on the flip side, Vladimir Putin loves hostage diplomacy, raising the stakes. We saw it with Brittany Griner and other high-profile cases. So what was different about this one, perhaps?
Well, the reality is hostage diplomacy, to go a little bit deeper, it's now become this worldwide phenomenon, especially with the Putin regime. He's probably more experienced at this than any other, leader out there in the world. They will bring up trumped-up charges against an individual, and specifically Americans. This has happened multiple times. It's happened with Brittany Griner. And they will find a charge, and they will charge them with a crime and expand this. Robert Gilman was in jail for reportedly kicking a police officer and being drunk and disorderly in public, which would normally get you 48 hours in the drunk tank somewhere, and then you're released on bond on Monday. He was sentenced up to 10 years, and he was under extreme pressure. He was tortured in prison. He was given psychotic drugs. You can imagine his dietary system was probably challenged with the food or lack thereof. So he was being tortured. And again, Russia, the hostage diplomacy is a way they hold Americans prisoner on trumped-up charges to get concessions from the United States. And in this case, under Trump, as everyone knows, no one drives a harder bargain, and he was released right now on a humanitarian cause, which is a huge win for this administration and for Mr. Gilman and his family.
A huge win for this administration. And as we noted in the intro there, this administration, Steve Witkoff, Adam Boehler, others, Jared Kushner, have been quite successful in this endeavor. Let me just broaden it just a little bit and ask you, do you see any correlation between this incident and, of course, the broader Ukraine war?
Well, I believe something behind. Listen, Putin does not give up anything without getting something in return. Brittany Griner, which was headline news for months, he knew he could leverage it, and he did. He ended up getting one of the most wanted men alive. The Lord of War returned on behalf of Brittany Griner. And in this case, a couple years later, now he's just giving up someone to try and get maybe some goodwill. The Ukraine war has dragged on. No one is winning, certainly not Russia. And this may be a concession that he's willing to give up something to hopefully have some good favor on behalf of Trump when it comes down to negotiations. So ultimately, this is probably a sign of Putin cracking, to be frank. And I guarantee it is tied to the Ukrainian war, which is why he gave up this American. Better to give him up and get something in return than this American dying in his jail and then getting worldwide condemnation for it.
Well, we are so grateful to welcome Robert Gilman home. He's going to have a long road ahead medically, but now he is here with his family and his country. Dan O'Shea, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.